I never thought I'd be the kind of man sitting alone at a bar, staring at the amber of my whiskey, thinking about how everything I trusted in my life had quietly slipped away. But here I am. And it all started with a simple Sunday morning. Something ordinary that turned out to be anything but. I'd been married to Linda for 30 years. 30! We'd raised kids, bought the house on Elm Street, watched the neighborhood change, laughed, fought, and settled into a rhythm that I thought was unbreakable. She was my anchor, or at least I thought she was. That Sunday, I came home early from a fishing trip. The kids were out with friends, and the house was quiet. I walked in, humming a tune, expecting to see her pot of coffee steaming on the counter, maybe some light chatter from her phone call with her sister. But the house felt off. And then I saw the message on the kitchen counter. A note, folded neatly, with her handwriting. "I'm sorry. I never meant for it to happen. I just needed to feel alive again." I laughed at first. Laughed right out loud. Maybe it was the sun in my eyes, maybe it was denial, but I laughed. Then I looked around, my heart sinking, and I realized that this wasn't some silly fight we'd have over money or dishes. This was real. I found the phone. Text messages, pictures, reservations. The proof was all there. She'd been seeing him for months. A coworker, some guy she met at a conference, she insisted I didn't need to worry about. And the worst part, they weren't sneaky. She wasn't even trying to hide it. She just needed something I couldn't give her. Something I didn't even know was missing. I sat down, the note trembling in my hands, and I couldn't breathe. Not right away. It felt like the room was spinning, like the floor could just drop out under my feet. I thought about our life together, the vacations, the birthdays, the quiet nights in front of the TV, the coffee we shared, the arguments that seemed so trivial now. And I realized how fragile it all had been, even when I thought it was solid. I confronted her that evening. She was sitting on the porch, cigarette in hand, looking out at the garden we'd planted together. I wanted anger. I wanted yelling. I wanted to scream and throw things and make her feel the way I did. But what came out was broken. "Linda, why?" She didn't look at me at first. Took a long drag, exhaled, and said, "I don't know, John. I just felt lost. I needed to feel something again. And I'm so sorry it's you I hurt." There was that word, sorry. I wanted more than sorry. I wanted an explanation, a reason that made sense, a map back to the woman I thought I knew. But she couldn't give me that. She just admitted she had made a choice, and I had been left behind. The next weeks were the hardest. We didn't talk much. I stayed in the study, she in the living room. The silence was deafening. Friends called, family checked in, but I couldn't answer. I couldn't make it real for anyone else. I walked the neighborhood, sat at the docks, sometimes drove for hours with no destination. I tried to understand, to forgive, to remember the love, but my stomach hurt, my chest ached, and every little memory of her was sharp like glass. And then, one rainy afternoon, I found myself at our favorite diner. We used to come there every Thursday, early morning, pancakes and coffee, just talking about nothing. I was staring out the window at the drizzle when she walked in. Not to talk, not to apologize again, just there. She sat across from me, her hair dripping, her eyes tired. She said, "Can we talk?" I wanted to say no. I wanted to tell her to leave and never come back, but I didn't. I wanted closure. I wanted to understand what had happened to the life we built. And so we talked, not about him, not about the betrayal, not about what she wanted from him. We talked about us, about our kids, our dreams, the life we had lived together. We cried,
We laughed awkwardly, and for a moment, it felt like old times. And then I realized something important. I couldn't change what she did. I couldn't take back the months she spent with someone else, the nights I felt alone while she was somewhere else, but I could decide what I wanted moving forward. I decided I wanted peace, not revenge, not reconciliation necessarily, but peace. And maybe that was the hardest thing of all, to let go of the anger, to let go of the betrayal, to let go of the illusion that life could be perfect. We eventually separated, quietly, without shouting, without scandal. Linda moved into a small apartment nearby. We exchanged holiday cards, occasional phone calls, and for a long time that was all. But sometimes, late at night when the house is quiet, I pour a glass of whiskey and think about her. And I smile, a little sadly, a little wistfully, and I say quietly to myself, we did our best, and maybe that's enough.
I never imagined that a simple dinner with an old friend could change my life forever. I mean, we all tell ourselves we know people, right? That we understand them. But sometimes the people closest to you, they're the ones hiding the sharpest secrets. It started on a rainy Thursday evening. My friend, Tom, had invited me over to his place. We hadn't seen each other in years, since college actually. The kind of friendship where you can just pick up a beer and laugh about old, stupid mistakes. Linda, my wife, was out with her book club, so I thought, why not? A quiet night, catching up. Tom greeted me at the door, his usual grin plastered across his face. It's been too long, buddy. Come in, come in. The apartment smelled like grilled cheese and beer. We sat, chatted about the kids, work, life. And then around 8 p.m., he said, almost casually, you know, I saw Linda the other day. She seemed different. I laughed. Different how? He hesitated. And that hesitation, that tiny pause, should have been my warning. But I didn't catch it. I smiled, thinking he was just joking. Come on, man, she's fine. She's always busy with the book club. Tom's grin faltered. It's more than that. She's been seeing someone. I didn't react. At first, I thought he was joking, trying to mess with me. But the look in his eyes, honest, worried, made my stomach drop. Wait, what do you mean? I asked, slowly, my voice betraying nothing. He took a deep breath. I saw them. At the cafe near the station, holding hands, laughing. She didn't see me, but, John, it was her. I felt like the floor disappeared beneath me. My mind raced, trying to make sense of it. How? Why? My Linda, the woman I'd built a life with, shared decades with, how could she? I went home that night, heart hammering, stomach twisted. I didn't say a word. I didn't ask. I just waited. And then the next morning I found the note. Simple, handwritten. I can't hide it anymore. I'm sorry. I needed something I couldn't get at home. Don't try to stop me. The betrayal hit harder I thought possible. But this time, it wasn't just the affair. It was the secrecy, the knowing smile she gave me every morning while lying about where she'd been. I felt like a fool. For weeks, I oscillated between rage and numbness. I didn't confront her directly. I didn't yell. I just watched. The small signs, the perfume on her scarf, the sudden late nights, the distant look in her eyes, every little detail confirmed it. One evening, I couldn't take it anymore. I followed her. Not far, just to the cafe Tom had mentioned. And there they were. Linda, laughing, the man's hand on her shoulder. I wanted to scream. I wanted to run up and tear them apart, but instead, I just watched, standing in the shadows, feeling my heart break in ways I didn't know existed. The confrontation came later that night. She came home, trying to act normal, maybe thinking I hadn't seen, but I did. And when she asked why I was so quiet, I just said, "We need to talk." She froze, and for the first time, fear flickered across her face. "John,
Don't, I said. Just tell me why. Her voice shook. I don't know. I felt invisible, alone. You've been so distant. I didn't mean to hurt you, but I needed to feel wanted. I stared at her, silent, because part of me understood, even while my chest ached. 30 years of marriage, and somehow, somewhere along the way, we stopped seeing each other. We stopped listening, and she found someone who did. We tried counseling. We tried talking. We tried everything, but some things once broken never fully repair. Eventually, she moved out. The house felt emptier than ever. I walked the rooms at night, tracing the memories, our wedding photos, our kids' drawings, the shelves of books we'd collected together. And every time I passed her favorite chair, I felt the sting all over again. But life moves on. You learn to breathe again, even when your heart feels like it's been punched through. I started fishing more, spending afternoons with the grandkids, reconnecting with old friends, and slowly, the anger softened. The betrayal didn't disappear, but I learned to carry it without letting it consume me. Looking back, I realized that love and trust are fragile things. People are human, flawed, and sometimes selfish. Betrayal cuts deep, yes, but it also teaches you to value honesty, to treasure the moments when people are truly present, and to never take for granted the ordinary days that feel so mundane until they're gone. I don't think I'll ever fully forgive her, not because I hold on to hate, but because some things aren't meant to be forgiven completely. You just accept them, carry the lesson, and keep walking. And maybe, one day, you find someone or something that helps you remember that life, even after betrayal, can still be beautiful.